Hey guys, we are back with Messy on Purpose, and I have an adorable guest with me today. I got Johnny to bring his daughter, and we're going to talk about daddy-daughter stuff in honor of Father's Day being Sunday. So that's exciting, which this will come out the day after. So do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about you? Okay.
So my name is Navia. I'm 9 years old and I like to do fun stuff.
Good one.
I like it. I like it. And do you want to introduce yourself again? I know you've been on before, but
Sure. Yeah, my name's John Molinaro, and I'm her dad.
that's the best introduction, right?
Yeah, that's all I need.
That's it.
Today, anyway.
Okay. So do you want to start off with some daddy daughter questions? You ready? Are you ready to tell me about everything? Oh, okay. All right. So let's start with all right. If you could plan the perfect daddy daughter date, what would it be?
So first in the morning we would wake up, we would go to breakfast. Then we would go to Dillard's because he likes going to Dillard's. And then we would go to Claire's. And then we would get lunch at like California Pizza Kitchen. And then when we get home, we would eat dinner at home, and then we would get ice cream and watch a movie.
She already has a whole day planned for you. Now you just got to put that in action.
There you go.
And we would swim.
And we will swim.
That's how you end the day, right?
Yeah.
Relaxation. I love it. I love it. What do you think? What do you think about that day?
I mean, any day I can spend with her is the perfect daddy daughter.
Aw.
So
You guys have a lot of fun together, huh? Yeah. I can tell it shows. All right. So, how about a question for dad? What do you think?
Yeah.
Can we ask him?
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite thing about being her dad?
my favorite thing. Well, just as a dad, watching her grow up, like just memories of her when she was just an itty bitty thing. And then little things that would sink in, as she grew up and watch her personality grow and her character come out and become her own little person.
That's
And
got to be a cool thing about being a parent.
it for sure is, just pay attention to that stuff though, because you blink and you miss it, so, um, and she's a great kid, so it's every day is a wonderful thing just to watch her grow up and every new little thing she comes up with or wants to talk about. And now she's much more articulate and has her own little brain where she thinks about stuff, and it's fun just to let her go.
I interviewed a lot of kids at that You're a Star event, and I'm telling you, you had the most personality
With
in the best way.
Boy.
All right. So, what about something that you've learned from your dad?
I've learned that he likes to teach me a lot of life lessons and um that he's strong and tough and that he teaches me a lot of like driving manners when we're on the road and I look out the window.
I
That's
can't
a
help
lot.
it, well, that's I get my frustrations out where, if somebody's following too close, I'll tell her,
Yeah, let's do this.
here's one of the things you don't want to do is follow too close to another vehicle. You know,
Yeah.
if they slam on their brakes, what happens? So that's usually my therapy of dealing with traffic is talking calmly with her about what not to do when she gets her license.
And you're only 9 years old. You're going to know how to drive better than most of the people on the road. All right. So we're going to share a mic now because I think this is going to be easier. I think it'll be easier to leave that and then I can kind of just sway this over. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that way it's at the right height for you. I'll just adjust it. Okay. She was telling me how to set up this before we started. So we know we got a smart kid here. Okay. So how about you just covered what your dad taught you, so what's one thing you both love doing together?
Probably watching movies. and eating ice cream.
Watching movies and eating ice cream.
We do.
We do that.
So I have an older daughter, and so I've kind of learned a little bit of the blueprint, you know, and so I love to introduce them to films they might not normally have been exposed to, stuff that maybe I grew up with.
And sometimes, like, I learn stuff from those movies that we watch.
Because there's morals.
Yeah, the older movies definitely have, like, more to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lessons to be learned, and we'll even talk about it, afterwards. So that's always fun to do.
Okay,
Well, it's a first time experience, with these. I mean, I took this kid through all the Rockies.
okay,
You know what I
okay.
mean? And so that was really fun.
And then we wonder why she's in martial arts.
Yep, that's part of the design.
So, when it comes to all these movies that you watch, what's your favorite?
My favorite is probably either the Rockies because they have the most character, and I really had like a era when I was watching all of them. And yeah, that's kind of all. And the Hulk and Iron Man.
Okay. What's your favorite that you've shown her and why?
For now, like I'm very particular about age appropriate everything. Movies, music, you name it. And then as she gets older, then I'll open up my grip a little bit. You know what I mean? Just certain things. Just I'm a really big proponent of age appropriateness. Um, so probably my favorite is just when I get to watch her reaction to certain things. We recently watched E.T. She'd never seen E.T. You know how old that film is, you know what I mean? And the reaction people got from that when it first came out in the theater, and watching her face and her reactions to certain moments, whether it's happy or sad or anything like that, So any of those movies where it sparks emotion, or makes you think, I like to watch and see it
Like,
happen.
actually see
Yeah,
her reaction.
yeah.
Okay.
Without me, coaching it.
Yeah,
Uh,
or explaining much, like, she's just getting it and then taking it in and then giving you a reaction,
yeah,
which is, like, so authentic.
for sure. We watched My Girl. You ever seen My Girl?
I have
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. So we all know that scene. You know what I mean? So things like that, and I don't prep her for it.
She's just ready to go.
No, here's just some kids having fun playing out in the woods, and so it's really exciting to watch her brain just absorb things. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he just loves seeing you grow. What's your favorite, when what's let's see, how do I put this? What movie gave you the best reaction?
Um, I think when we watched most of the scary alien ones, I really had like a scared reaction, but like a funny reaction because I saw my reaction and I thought it was funny.
It was funny?
Yeah, so most of the alien movies.
They get you to jump?
So it'd be
Like,
Signs.
yeah.
So the old Signs movie. Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah,
I haven't seen that, and I couldn't tell you how long. I
yeah.
couldn't even tell you that much about it,
The
to be
Sixth
honest.
Sense. I think that was another one that's
That one makes you think.
yeah,
That one
for
makes you
sure.
think.
I almost like started crying because when I saw the girl throwing up because of the food poisoning,
That was a
I
little
was
intense.
grossed out and like scared.
I don't do well with the gory stuff either, or gross stuff like that. I, like, close my eyes, and I'm an adult. So, I get it. Alright, let's see. You guys answered, like, some of these questions, like, all in one question, so um, what's one thing as a dad, as a girl dad specifically, so you only have girls, right? Yeah, so what's one thing you've learned being a girl dad?
Well, for sure, I mean, I can only speak, from my own experience, but I think it's really kept me grounded. Um, I don't know what it would have been like, raising a little boy, but having that connection with my daughters, Immediately there's that inherent protection, just instinct that comes in, um, the tenderness, the listening, the patience, things you may or may not have just naturally had. Um, and I think having the daughters has really, I mean, if it wasn't already there, it's really made me grow in that respect. And then the fun thing about it is, I basically take them to boot camp. Like, so between the movies and then their physicality, the sports and things like that, um, they're just as fun, if not more fun than I think having a boy. So they're still into Star Wars and they're still into martial arts, but yet they can still dress up and be girly and go out and have fun and you know.
You almost get the best of both, right? Like, whereas a little boy's just trying to get dirty.
I mean, I'm keeping from doing something crazy.
Yeah.
I mean that's, but
And boys never grow out of that. At least we don't usually go too crazy.
until they have daughters.
True,
You know,
true. Maybe that's what it is.
I
That's
mean,
the
that's
key.
where it levels you out. You know what I mean?
You have to grow up a little bit and not take as many risks.
It's forced on them.
Okay. How does dad help you when you have a tough day?
So at school, if I pull a tally, which is bad,
What is that? What does that mean?
so there's like these little popsicle sticks,
Okay.
and when we're told to not do something twice, we put one of those in our little name pocket, and that's not good because then after that, if you still don't do it, then you have to go to the principal's office.
Okay. So it's like 3 strikes.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I do that, after school, I tell him that I pulled a tally, and we talk it out, and he says, "What do you say?
Well, usually I ask her,
Like why?"
what happened. Were the other kids laughing and you were laughing too? Because it's usually nothing that she's ever done that's just outward, bad. It's where, there's a couple of kids and they're all giggling about something and they just kept giggling.
And you just
Y
join in. Yeah.
Yeah. So that starts this conversation of, the whole thing, and that goes in deeper at usually, like, being an independent and a independent thinker, and just because it's better to be walk by yourself doing the right thing than walk with the group doing the wrong thing. So those type of situations, they're actually, opportunities to grow and for her to learn,
Yeah.
So she might come home from school feeling bad because she pulled a tally, but then when I look at it, it's nothing she's done that's
It's not that.
groundbreaking. No, no, but then I look at it as an opportunity, like, okay, here's a growing opportunity, so let's talk about it.
So these conversations help, like,
Yeah.
just kind of help you work through it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's good. That's good. I wish I had conversations like that as a kid. You're very lucky, you know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What's a piece of advice that you give her often?
Well, immediately I'll revert back to what I just said as far as, the importance of, respecting yourself. And if you acknowledge that there's something not right about a situation, even though there's a bunch of kids maybe doing it and it's not the right thing to do, then to feel good about, walking the other way. Um, I mean, that's what, always be yourself. Don't compromise who you are just because, maybe it gets a laugh or something like that. But in the long run, you want to remain true to yourself. And so I know she's young, but again, we have these opportunities a lot of times from school to have her for her to think about that.
And how do you feel about that advice? How do you find that helpful?
I find it helpful because it's from my dad, and if it was from my friends, I don't know how I would take it because normally we goof around like at recess. Like if we're trying to act serious, we'll goof around when we act serious. So I don't know how I'd take it from my friend versus from my dad. So I think it's good.
So do you feel like your dad's one of the people you can trust the most?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Do you want to change it up a little bit?
Sure.
Little different questions here? Okay. What's something that makes you, it can be anything, that makes you really, really happy?
Something that makes me really happy. Um, Probably that I get to swim and I have a pool and I don't need to go to those private pools where everybody's at there. And I get to have friends over because summer can be boring, even though I have someone in the house and I have my dog. But it can be boring because there's no one my age there.
That that makes sense. You want your friends to come over and
Yeah.
you guys just do pool stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that your main activity during the summer?
Yes.
Is it because it's so hot here?
Yes.
What about you? What makes you really, really happy?
Man, these questions, I'll just go in deep. You know what I mean?
Do it, go
It's
for it.
not surface with me, but just literally when it's from the moment I walk into her room and wake her up in the morning, um, to when I put her to bed at night. And I see that she's happy, she's healthy. She had a good day. We got something out of the day. It wasn't wasted. Just whatever, she learned something possibly. Because I mean, if you really are going to go cliche about it, I'm her parent, and I'm there to try to help her grow as a young person while still letting her be a kid. So every day that I get to see her become this person makes me really happy. That we made it through another day. So
So just being a dad,
for
just
sure,
really
I did it one time and didn't know what it was going to be like. And luckily, I had great parents um, that set the example for me. And so I felt it came naturally when I had my first daughter. Um, so when I discovered I was having another daughter, I was thrilled, because the other one was already kind of growing up.
How old you say your oldest is?
She's 27 now.
27. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, and she was 18 basically when she came around. So she was getting ready to fly the coop, and I was going to be left. What do I do now? You know, so it's perfect timing. I didn't orchestrate it at all. But having her, come along, it got me. I got to start all over again.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How does that make you feel?
I I don't know.
You don't know? It makes you really happy though. I can see the smile when he was explaining it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about something that you're really good at?
I think I'm really good at math, jujitsu, my hoverboard, and making people happy.
And making people happy. And what do you do to make people happy?
I can make them stuff like friendship bracelets. Sometimes I have clay that I can make them little figurines out of. And I am not rude to them and I don't boss them around because I've already done that to my cousins, so I don't need to do it to my friends.
Why do you boss around your cousins?
Well, I used to boss around one of my cousins, but then once she had a little sister, I started to get jealous, and then I was kind of humbled. So then I stopped.
What humbled you?
That I can't be the one who is the has the most attention always.
That's good. That's a good thing to learn young. It's a very good thing. This little girl is grown
She's a thing.
beyond.
She has a naturally just good nature to her. And when she says about making people happy, I mean, that's the truth. She cares. She's very caring. She can be very empathetic without her even knowing what that means or how to spell it.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
things.
But
Oh,
I,
I know
but,
what it
but,
is.
but naturally, it's in her heart.
Do you want to explain what it is?
So empathetic is being so you're there for another person, and if someone is sad, you can feel that sad with them.
That's really good. That's really good.
I'm impressed. I'm
I could
impressed.
tell when it clicked with her, she was like she had to explain it, you know? That is really, really good. Did you know that, like, most adults don't understand empathy?
No.
There's a lot of adults that do not understand it, and that is incredible that you just explained that.
That's crazy. They should be learning the dictionary when they're in like 5th grade. How did they forget that?
There's knowing a definition and knowing actually what something is, though.
Mm.
The way you explained it was not necessarily the definition you would read in the dictionary.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things too where some adults, they might know what it is, but they don't practice it
Yeah.
or they don't um, have examples of it. Yes.
And a lot of people aren't raised like, there's a lot of people that are raised in different environments that it's hard to learn that skill too.
Yeah.
So, you got lucky. You got a really good dad and a really good mom.
Thanks.
And it shows. All right, let's see here. Do you wanna talk about school?
Sure.
Does that sound like a good time?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about school. What do you love about your school? So I was told that you go to a Christian school.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that and what you love about it.
So we learn about the Bible, and since we're Christian, we mostly learn about like the fruits of the Spirit. So we learn about being kind, being grateful, being kind, and we learn about um like how we should act when we're around other people. So there's a saying that we have. It's what would Jesus do? So one of my friends, she also goes to a Christian school, and she wrote that on her arm so it would remind her like what would Jesus do in this situation. So the thing that I love about my school is that it is it is like another, but in the same way it isn't, because our teachers pay a lot of attention to us, and I'm very grateful for them because they do a lot of stuff that they don't have to do.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You got your dad crying.
Yeah.
You got him.
Dude, don't ask me any questions right now.
I'll let you process. All right, let's see. What about so you mentioned, the what do Jesus do
Yeah.
and but when it comes to learning about God within school, what let's see. What in that helps you grow?
It helped me grow by like if I was in a relationship with a friend and we were really close friends, and then something happened when, let's say, we moved different colleges, but we have each other's phone numbers, and they weren't doing the best example they could to be nice or something like that, then I could remind them that that's not the right decision. You should probably stop doing that. So, and also that it helps me because there are a lot of different people out there, and it reminds me like I have to do this and I have to be patient with them so I can figure this out and make it a little better.
She is wise beyond her years. You know that? Just incredible. I don't know what school you go to, but if I had kids, I would send them to that school. There's no doubt. Okay. So you've talked about how you like to spread kindness
Yeah.
and help people and you are going to help so many people, I can already tell. But what is one way at school that you spread kindness to others?
When, let's say, the other class that did all their work can go play, some of the girls and me, we go and help the people sort out their pages and do this first, then you can do this and that. So I like to help people with their math problems, with maybe an extra problem that we had to do, and sorting so then they can do it step by step in a clean desk. And I like organizing a lot in my classroom because there's a lot to organize. And with my teachers, I'll ask them if I can do anything. And most of the time, they'll have something that we can do, like organizing their pens, the bookshelf, or maybe uh, getting the papers from the printer room. And I like helping them and I like organizing.
Like organizing a lot. um, what was I gonna take it? So spreading the kindness, how do you feel that comes back to you?
So it's rewarding and I feel great because my friends, they trust me more and they feel like I'm almost related to them and that they they're like my friends even more.
It builds relationships, huh? Yeah. And something that you told me, my dog's coming over here to get attention. Um, so you told me at You're a Star that you like public speaking and being in front of
Yes.
people, right?
I love
Okay.
doing that.
So why do you love that? And why do you feel that it comes kind of easy to you? Why do you feel like it's super comfortable? Because a lot of people aren't comfortable getting up in front of crowds. And that's what we were talking about a little bit, huh?
So I can get up there because there's for me there's nothing to be afraid of because if you imagine it, like everyone's wearing banana hats, then it's funny and
Banana hats.
yeah.
That's the trick. I love that.
funny.
Who taught you that?
Oh, I just made that up.
You mean okay. Oh, I
Like
love
you
it.
just imagine something silly in your own way on those people. And if you do that and you probably will feel better. And also, when I get up stage, normally one of my parents are there. And when I see them, I have a big smile on my face. So I don't really have trouble, even though I do stutter a
Nala.
little bit. Um, I just move on with it.
Just move on with it. Do you truly enjoy getting up in front of people and talking?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
I think I interviewed you for like an extra 20 minutes at the Eurostar event, and I think you guys could have kept going.
Yes, I wanted to.
What did you think of the Eurostar event? Did you have fun? Did it feel like you were a movie star?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked when they did our hair and I liked when there was a lot of snacks. And when we watched the movie Coco, me and my friend almost cried.
Aw.
Even though we've seen it a lot of times. Now it's just the stage where we're all crying.
I never seen the movie, so what in it makes you cry?
At the end when um he meets his family and he gets to bring them back together as a family, but in a way that one person did it and no one else liked it, but they brought it back together from something that tore them apart.
You really taught her how to find the meaning out of any movie, huh?
Well, I mean, that's a fun and learning thing to do, when you see these moments and, so I like to dabble in the film industry, so that's close to my heart. So, but when I see something that's, they worked really hard to bring that emotion out, or with the story behind it or whatever. I like her to she recognizes that.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah,
That's so
that's
cool.
great.
I love that. And you're a little bit of an actor yourself too, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actress.
Actress. Sorry, my bad. I've called myself an actor before. So okay. So let's see. Let's go back to your school real quick, okay? Because I got off track because that's what I do. I call this messy on purpose. It's because it's a mess. Okay. So what's your favorite subject? I know you said you're really good at math, but is that your favorite subject?
Yeah. It's
What do you like about it?
it makes you think and there's like word problems that will like trigger your mind to really, really think. And once you get it, it feels so cool because you feel so smart.
Do you know why I liked math growing up?
Why?
Because there was always like the right answer.
Yeah.
There's no it could go this way, it could be this way. There's one answer.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's just the nerd. I still like spreadsheets, so I'm still nerding out over math.
What are spreadsheets?
Oh, you'll get there. You'll get there. Just wait. It's fun for math.
Okay.
You like to organize?
Uh,
I'll teach you about spreadsheets.
yes, yeah. If you like to organize spreadsheets, CRMs, all that's going to be right up your alley. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Don't worry, you'll enjoy it. It'll be work that you enjoy.
Okay.
Okay. How about some martial arts? You want to talk about
Yeah.
that? All right. So, what made you want to start?
Well, my mom does it too. So when she did it, she was like, "We gotta do this together." And I'm like, "Sure, let's do it."
So you started together in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what made your mom want to get into it?
I think so. Before that, she wasn't really working out. Um, then she started weightlifting, and then she saw this, and she said, "I mean, it's safe. There's no like striking. So how about we give this a shot, see if we like it, and if we don't, that's fine." So yeah,
That's super cool. So, is that your favorite activity you do with your mom?
it's like my third favorite activity because I don't actually do it with her. I do it with a bunch of different kids.
Okay. Okay. So, what is your favorite activity to do with your mom?
I like going to Cowabunga Bay with her in the summer, and I like doing crafts sometimes. And um, when she goes back into school, like she just got back into school, she has these tests, and she'll let me like guess it, and then she'll actually figure it out.
Oh, that's cool. So she involves you with her school stuff too, so you're still learning more things. Oh, you're amazing. Uh, um, what is your take on the martial arts and like what do you like about it that it brings to her?
Well, since I was a kid, I've been an enthusiast around that stuff for many, many years. I grew up with the whole Chuck Norris era. You know, I just my if you asked me when I was her age what I wanted to be when I grew up, I was going to be a ninja, and I had my plan. This
This
is what
explains the Rocky movie.
this is what I was going to be, right? You know, I had the outfit and all kinds of stuff. Um, but there's something about martial arts that if you really embrace it, it's much more than the physicality. You know, it's what it does to your spirit and to your self-confidence. There really is you get deep any of the martial arts. You know, if you watch some of the everything from Wing Chun to karate to kung fu, you name it, when the practitioners that really are deep into it embrace it, there's much more to it than the physicality. And obviously, I wanted her to,
Self-defense.
well, to learn some self defense. Also, you know, jujitsu, you spend most of the time on the ground, right? And so, if something were to happen and you get into an altercation, there's a large chance it's going to end up on the ground. If you don't know what to do when you're on the ground, you're a tough spot, right? Um, and so that's part of it. But the growth that I've seen just with her self-confidence, the way she carries herself, and you've seen how she just normally thinks about things, that's a match, you know. So she's very conscientious about stuff like that.
The skills you build, especially at a young age, doing any type of martial arts is insane.
Yeah, and the skills, I mean, personally, not like I said, not just the physical skills, but the interpersonal skills that she's
Like breathing
building.
and being calm.
The discipline, the how to handle tough situations at a calm, level-headed.
Challenges.
Yeah.
My older daughter, you know, she was in, mixed martial arts for a time too, but we actually did the Spartan races.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I did 3 of the Spartan races, and she watched me do these things, and she was so excited. She said, "Dad, I wanna do one too." She wanted to get her trifecta, you know, the 3 different ones. And at first I was like, "Wow, you sure you wanna sign up for this?" And she's like, "Sure." I said, "Okay, well, here's the deal. When you do 1, you're gonna do all 3. You're telling me you want to get your trifecta? We're going to get your trifecta. And so she agreed to that. And that in itself was a huge growing opportunity for her as well. All the challenges, things that look like they're impossible. If it's a giant wall or if it's scaling through, mud on your elbows and things like that, she took a lot from that as far as just challenges in life. What do? Do you just give up and you quit?
Which is most people's instinct.
For sure. I mean, I'll tell you a quick story. When we were doing one of the races, and she was pretty young at the time. She was probably 16. And there was a couple of girls that were doing the race also, and they were very fit. They looked like they were CrossFit trainers. They had the really flashy outfits. They were well put together physically and the whole 9 yards. And she was very impressed. She's like, "Wow, I want to be like that." And I said, "Well, just keep training. Get there." And so, as halfway through the race, there was a challenge that she had to do, and I stood right next to her and I coached her and made her, and she got through it. She did the challenge because if you can't, you get penalized with burpees.
40, like a lot of burpees.
Yeah, and nobody wants to do that. They want to do the
Nobody wants to do burpees.
So she finished it, and it was tough. And we got up and we got ready to go run to go to the next challenge, and I stopped her. I made her look over because both of those girls that she was looking at earlier were doing their burpees because they couldn't do the challenge that she did. And so that was an awesome learning opportunity for her. I said, "You see that?
The outside doesn't always tell you what's on the inside,
And on herself too, right?" So
Yeah.
she was already judging herself. Like, I wish I could. You already are, just because you're not, flashing it on the outside like that. She's got heart, and that was one of those opportunities.
That's awesome. It really shows when you push yourself to the limit, right? Like all the way, and in comparison to other people and how far behind they actually are. But you look at them and you're just like, I wish I was like that, but you don't. You don't. You don't always wish to be like somebody else because it's in no comparison.
When you shortchange yourself
Yeah.
and who you are, who you could be.
It's like the whole thing with social media, right? Like you see all these shiny things. The whole reason I started this podcast was to show like the mess, right? Because that's where you learn. It's not the flashy things that you see, the stuff that people show. It's the mess.
Mhm.
It's the grit. It's the determination to do things.
Well, this was an opportunity to get nerdy. So in Batman, one of the lessons was, why do we fall?
Because if we fall, we get better and we progress to be the best we can.
So we learn how to pick ourselves back up.
Yeah.
So it might be in Batman, it might be very nerdy, but this is a dad's way of like connecting and going, see, there's truth to this.
There's purpose behind the things that you're showing her, which is super cool. I actually need to watch Batman again because I never caught that. So not that I don't know if I've ever actually watched the whole one. So I need to nerd out for a little bit, right? That's what I need to do. Get movie recommendations.
With meaning.
With meaning, yeah. I need a list of just with meaning, not entertainment. Because a lot of the movies that I choose to watch have no purpose. It's like goofy comedies.
Brain candy.
They probably have something in there, but not much.
Yeah.
So I prefer just watch stand up, really. Which still has no purpose. Okay. So how about any advice that you would give kids starting out in martial arts?
So there's a lot of advice that I would give, but here's the main advice that I would give. One, when you step on those mats, you're entering something. It's not too scary. If you think about it too much, it will be. But you're on you're in an area where you will get hurt, and if you do, you just maybe you can cry a little bit, but then you have to go with your partner because that's being a good partner. And there will be more advanced kids, so like people who have been in there longer, that will probably go against you, and if they beat you up, well, that's that, and you just have to roll with them more and more and more until you're at their level and you can fight with them again, and it's ended up being like a tie.
That's really good advice. Really good advice.
Thank you.
Is there anything you wanted to add?
No.
No, that's the advice. What about you? What's some advice that you would give a parent that is thinking about getting their kid into martial arts? So like, Justin's has a little brother. I don't know, he's like 10, and he's trying to get his mom to do it, and she just is super hesitant because it's violent,
Mhm.
right? Like the it looks at it looking at it from a very very narrow lens.
Well, the world is violent.
Facts.
So, pony up, Um, no, like I said before, I think it's very important. And I guess it doesn't have to be martial arts,
Mm.
but finding something that's yours, a passion.
Gymnastics, dance.
Exactly. Gymnastics, dance,
Cheer.
something where you can push yourself, you can grow with it. I personally think martial arts is great because of the personal growth you have to go through. Some kids might be kind of timid. And when you first start, you get thrown on your back and you got somebody that's pouncing on you and holding you down, you can't move, and it's pretty traumatizing at first, right? But you're in a controlled environment and there's coaches and there's people who are trying to learn as well. Where if that were to ever happen on the street, like if it happened to her right now, she's been down there hundreds of times. She's not gonna panic. She's not gonna she knows what's going on. Um, and then just for a kid to have more self-confidence, just to grow the physicalities, that is a good part of it where they get stronger. So a lot of the kids in her class, they need to put on some weight. They need to drink some milk and eat some meat and train.
Like
Yeah,
that muscle.
they're thin. But I think martial arts in general, and if they're if his mother is concerned about that thing, well, you don't necessarily go into a striking one. If you go into something that's like Muay Thai, kickboxing or something like that, yeah, you're gonna get punched in the face. This is where it is. But I'd rather get punched in the face with a glove and headgear and training and get used to that than I would get punched in the face out on the street and not know what's going on.
Yeah.
With the jujitsu, I think that's great, especially if it's for females, and also for boys who maybe aren't physically imposing, um, because there's a lot of technique. It's like chess. You know what I mean? It's you have to really think about it. So there's some strength involved, but there's leverage, there's physics, there's thinking things through. It's more of a mindful martial art than just kicking a bag or hitting a bag.
Just being tough, really. Like, right, that's one thing, but having the skills to be able to maneuver, like, when you're down on the ground and held.
Well, it evens the game, right? There's many stories out there where a 5'2" woman has defended herself against a 6 foot tall man because she knew how to get his back and put him in a chokehold. And even a 5'2" woman, she gets locked in. Good luck. You know what I mean? So I think jujitsu is great, especially for people just starting out in martial arts and they don't want to get kicked in the face.
It's definitely a good skill, and then I like the discipline that it, like, builds too, because I feel like a lot of people need that, and if they don't get that, it does kind of pour over into everything in life, right? If you don't have the discipline to stick with things, if you don't have the discipline to do things when you're uncomfortable or, pushing through when you're tired, things like that.
Well, you can see it in the class when you watch the kids. Um, some of the kids they don't want to be there. This one she can do a whole class, and then they say, "Okay, now we're gonna do the conditioning class. Who wants to stay?" Well, she's staying. She's doing conditioning too right after that class. Where some are like, "I'm out." You know.
Even on Thursdays, there's little kids class, or there's my class, and then there's women's class where all the girls are there, and sometimes the teenagers go there, and you have to be 7 or older. So sometimes I go there with my mom, and one time I choked one of the teenagers.
Does that feel good?
Yes, and they weren't even like, they were trying their absolute hardest.
Were they just newer, or how long had they been doing it?
So I think they have been doing it for a long time because they were really strong and they were really good. They they wore jeans and a t-shirt, but it's okay. And they're all blacked out. Not like a good style, but like the shadier one. And so I was gonna fight her, and I know she was doing it for a pretty long time. I think she's done more than just jujitsu, like striking, because I felt that energy. I can feel people's energy sometimes.
So it felt good to win that one.
Yes,
Is that probably your biggest accomplishment so far?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, she's competed twice now.
Oh, okay. So
In her
you
first
too.
competition,
I did really good.
well, her first match was against a boy, and she beat him.
Well, they were skinny.
Oh,
I mean,
it's still a boy though.
Yeah.
yeah.
They still have a little bit more hormones to be stronger naturally. So that's a huge accomplishment.
And on my second one, they did me so dirty. I had these two seasoned gray belts. It's when they were gray belts for a long time. And I had to go against two girls that were seasoned gray belts. And I did lose, but I still got third place and second, I think.
Hey, that's still placing. That's awesome.
That's how you get better. Right? I'd rather lose against somebody who's better than beat somebody who's not as good.
Yeah, 100%. And to win your first one and then still place in your second one, that's really good. Really good. All right. Let's see. What about one thing if you could tell your future self one thing, what would you say?
Um, I would say that how old are we talking?
It's your imagination, you tell me.
All right, let's go about 30.
Okay.
That I would like to keep my job, so I have to be smart in what I do with the people there, and that I need to be smart of my actions and who I will be having relationships with, because if you have a relationship with the wrong people, you might have the wrong life or a bad life.
That's really good advice. Really good advice. God, you are incredible. What does dad think of that advice?
She listened. It's one of those things where it's I've seen a ton of memes where the reactions of the dads where the daughter finally listened to the advice, and it's
You listened.
she paid attention. So it's like,
And that usually doesn't happen until they're like 20.
or what's funny is because they do sometimes, because a lot of it is just through listening, not being taught, but just they're experiencing it. They don't always let on that they know. And then they're posed with a situation, and you're like, "Oh, you paid attention when I was telling you that?"
You handled that exactly right.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes just don't let on. So it's
She's an easy child, isn't she? Like, she's just so great.
well now. I mean, we'll find out she's a teenager. That being that smart later, it might be more of a challenge.
She might be able to trick you a little bit. I'm gonna have to watch out.
You can't trick a trickster.
You trickster?
I grew up in this town. Okay.
That's true. That's true. You have an advantage.
Yeah.
You grew up in Vegas.
I did too.
I think it's a little different.
Yeah.
It's a different Vegas now.
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let's see. What is the biggest blessing about being her dad?
Wow. Well, I really think just being a dad in general, it is a blessing, and that's just my take on it. It might not be for everybody, but I've really embraced it. I love the lessons. I love watching her grow up. I love that just what we talked about, where you're paying attention and she can recount stuff on her own. It makes me feel much better as a dad, knowing she's growing up with that type of self-respect and common sense. So just the blessing is from birth to adulthood and beyond, you know. I'll bring my other daughter into it where, there was a time where, she was a wild teenager and you had to go through that stuff.
That's
Now
where the fear of the teenage years comes.
it is, but now as an adult though, she calls me practically every day. So she still reaches out to me, and whether it's to vent or to ask for advice or whatever. So it it comes back to you.
It comes back
Yeah,
around. That's
sure.
that's good. You have a much older sister, so how does she help you?
So if like if he's at an event that I can't go to, I'll stay over at her house and I'll hang out with my niece and nephew. And she'll help me by like making dinner, and um she will take care of me. Recently, we did this little like short film, and she helped us with my costume, like sewing it and putting the tape on. So she helps with a lot of crafty stuff.
It's really cool. Lots of sister bonding.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's a tough cookie. So I mean, I'm confident there's going to be a time when they're unstoppable.
She gets old enough and they can connect on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. What is something that always makes you feel brave?
I think when more like jujitsu, because when I finish all of those classes, like the conditioning and the regular class, I feel really strong and brave because um I just feel strong and I feel that I can like beat him in an arm wrestle.
Have you tried?
I have. He lets me win, but sometimes he crushes me.
Gotta bring her back to reality a little.
Depends on the day, right? Like
Maybe today.
one day, right? One day you're gonna beat him. He might. It might be when he's old and frail, but you're gonna get him one day.
Crusty.
Oh, I love it. Okay. What is one thing you hope she always remembers as she grows up? I know I keep asking you the deep ones, huh?
Yeah, no, that's okay. Those are important. That she always remembers. Um,
If there's just like one piece of advice or something that you want her to take with her everywhere she goes as she gets older.
it's really just be true to yourself. Have self respect. Know your worth. So no matter what environment you find yourself in, if you keep that top of mind, hopefully that helps you, navigate through this crazy world. So she just always remembers, what she's worth. She never has to compromise who she is, no matter who she's working for or who she's talking with. And she knows that deep down, even if hopefully I'll be the little angel on her shoulder, whispering in her ear, if she needs some help. But I think she's on a good path, and I don't think she'll need any help.
Do you feel like your dad's always with you, kind of, in some way?
Not kind of. I think always.
Always.
I feel like
He
he's
corrected me.
in my head. Because sometimes he says stuff so much, it's stuck in my head in the exact same voice.
That's always there with you.
Yes. Like when I don't put my laundry in my closet. Navia, I hate getting up on you like this, but you gotta put your laundry away.
That's in your head.
Yes.
What's another one? Give me another example.
Okay. You can't let your room get caught up with this. You gotta get this junk into your dollhouse or in your closet.
So when she starts, maybe she has a friend over and they're playing and it starts to get a little cluttery. I'm like, do it now, because if you let it go, it's going to be a big mess. And then you're not going anywhere, doing anything until this stuff's cleaned up. So I always try to tell her, just keep it small and you'll never have to deal with the big mess.
You're the reason she likes to stay organized, huh?
I would like to think so.
Let's see. All right.
Isn't there like a stage in life where girls just want to organize?
Some, I think.
I don't think all. I don't think all. I know a lot of messy girls, like real messy. Yeah, well, I'm not talking about. Actually, I'm kind of like you. I like to like organize things. So like the spreadsheets and stuff like that. That's what I do for work. I work for an accounting and money management firm, and I do operations because I get to organize everything.
That's cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It keeps me busy.
Like, I would organize your desk right now if I could.
That's just because I need to get all of this out of here. That is what it is. We're actually planning on moving soon, so I'm gonna go through and get rid of everything. Yeah. Fun stuff. I love throwing stuff away too. I don't know about you, but I love just clearing everything.
I hate throwing my stuff away. Even if it's something like from a gas station or one of those toys candies, I'll keep it. And like I have this broken like My Little Pony toy, and even though I don't really play with it, like I'll have my dolls play with it cuz it's like this big.
She has a hard time getting rid of stuff.
Oh, better watch out.
Well, that's him too. He has like 1,000,000 CDs.
He
CDs?
called you out for CDs.
Those are collector's items.
Oh, DVD.
Oh, those two. Those two.
You have like this huge box, and you have all your little golf trophies, and your bodybuilding trophies.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
She at least didn't put the quotes on the bodybuilding ones.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was the best. That was the best. Okay, so let's see. What is something you both are really, really thankful for?
I'm thankful for that him and my mom work hard, so then they can provide me with the stuff that I need and some of the stuff that I want, and that they do a lot of stuff with me and they don't over discipline me. They don't use the belt.
Do they even need to, though?
No, they don't. All they do is remind me I'm good.
They got that voice in your head, right?
Yeah.
What's one thing your mom says to you that is in your head all the time?
Navia Ann. Because, like, I'll say something, like, something that I know that none other 9-year-old should know. And then she'll be like, Navia Ann, don't say that. I'll be like, then I'll make a funny face.
I love that she has all these voices in her head.
Oh,
I love it. I love it. That's why they don't have to use a belt or anything, right? It's not necessary when there's good parenting.
No. And he has like a whole story with his parents.
Because he got his butt whooped?
No.
No?
I know what she's talking about. So my dad, he was 100% Italian, very old school, and so he's kind of quiet. And I remember as a teenager, I was in the kitchen and I was not agreeing with my mom about something, and I was getting a little smart, I guess, and not letting it go. And my dad was in the other room, and I didn't know he was in the other room. And he let it go on for a little bit, and then finally I just hear him say from the other room, very, very calmly, very quietly, he said, "Do I have to get up?"
That's all he had to say?
That's all he had to say, and that struck fear in my heart like you don't imagine. Like, I looked at my mom, I said, "Dad's here." She's like, "Oh yeah." She heard everything, but that's all he said. "Do I have to get up?" I was like, "Oh no, sir, no, sir. I'm going to my room now," and just and that actually really resonated with me now, because if there is a time, and I've had to use it with her sister, where I had to be more stern about something, I'm not a yeller. I actually would lower my voice
Just like a deeper.
and say, "Listen, you need to do this now," and that comes off a little more intense and serious
Then
than
raising.
always yelling. 'Cause
It's almost like the unknown behind that deep, like, scary.
why are you whispering?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but because I think people can become kind of immune to yelling if you're always yelling in your household,
Yeah.
screaming about whatever, right? And you hear that decibel all the time, you become kind of deaf to it, right? And I don't feel I need to do that to get my point across. I just get serious, and it works.
Why so serious?
Yeah.
One more time.
Why so serious?
Isn't that from one of the movies?
Oh yeah, that's Joker from Batman.
Okay.
Yeah.
You really know your Batmans, huh?
Yeah, I do.
You're a big Star Wars fan too, I heard, right?
Yes. It is.
Did you do the audition?
Oh,
We
so
just filmed it.
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it was like I don't want to say a proof of concept, but type of thing, but it was a little skit to go along with a submission for a potential project.
Okay.
So yeah, so we filmed that.
So did you submit it and everything?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. How did you like it? Was it fun?
I think it was really cool. And when we went there, it was like super pretty because it was so early and it was not hot at all. But I gotta say, there was a lot of thorns and I had to go in the bushes. So, yeah. And we found this mama horse and this baby horse there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
They were like wild
Yeah,
horses.
yeah, just
Oh,
walking by.
that's really cool. I've seen some wild horses here in like up in Mount Charleston
That's
and
where
stuff.
we were.
Oh, is that where you're at? Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I've never seen a baby one though.
We couldn't really see the baby one, but we could hear it and we saw like the hooves. We didn't really see him, or at least I didn't.
Did you leave with a bunch of thorns in you since you said there was a bunch of thorns in the
No,
bush?
but there was some holes in my costume because I had like this cape and these long arm thingy majiggies. And I kept getting like caught on it and I had to like run from the bush. And it wasn't fun because they were like tall. They were like up to my waist. And we had to like take a giant step and step down, but we had to run pretty quick. So we were like running and stepping at the same time.
Was it fun?
It was really fun.
So what was the scene about?
The scene was where me, as I guess you could say a little bit of royalty. So I'm supposed to be the young version of, what is her name? Leda?
Yeah, well, there's some stuff.
Mama thingamajiggy.
So
And
it's a
Andrew.
character from one of the Star Wars stories.
Okay.
So I'm supposed to be the younger version of her, and so her mom is the leader of the
The rebellion.
rebellion rebels. And so the whole thing was about me, and he's a Jedi master, you could say.
I seen a picture. Looked really
A
cool.
Jedi Master.
Yeah,
Air
Jedi
quotes with me.
Master.
Okay. Yeah.
We're adding the clips again.
And so I don't know if he takes me from the palace, but he like saves me because these is it the Sith?
Bad guys.
Bad guys are looking for me. And so he takes me and we're going to like hide in a forest. So it's about us talking and we talk about how like I don't want to leave because my friends and my home, and he tells me like your friends will bear the same weight as me, and it's a whole story, but we're supposed to be running away from bad guys.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And what did you have to also do to show some of your acting skills?
Oh yeah.
Did you talk with like a regular voice?
Oh, I had to have an accent.
Ooh, can we hear the accent?
What's a line, Dad?
Well, you tell me, what was it? You can do the whole you don't want to leave. You learn that?
Yeah. I don't want to leave. My friends, my home.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so-
good.
And we did this whole discussion of don't overdo it. It's got to sound natural. And she totally understands what that means when somebody's overacting or it doesn't sound natural. You don't have to be.
Because we do plays and people will either dance like they were made to do it, but what we do with our performances, we do kind of have to dance or else we get sent off the stage and that's really embarrassing. Um, but when we do dance, it's supposed to look natural. So then we're not like this and you're just supposed to act natural, but you want to try to have a good memory of your lines and how you're supposed to say your lines.
How long have you been doing some acting stuff?
Not too long. Her first
Was when I was 8.
we did a
Okay.
we did a short film for a film festival, and that was her first real introduction to doing filming, where she was on a set and she got to see all the messiness behind filming.
It's a mess.
And then once it's edited, she got to see it on the big screen in the movie theater, and I was
Oh, so
yeah, I
cool.
think she was hooked. We won best film for that, and then she was nominated for best actress.
But then someone else won. But that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
No, she was
So got
nominated
nominated.
for
That
a
matters.
timeouts, so it was very good, and I think that kind of reinforced a lot with it.
I know she said that she wanted to act. That's one of the things that she wants to do when she gets older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool. How do you feel about that? Like her getting into the acting world?
I mean, I'm fine with it. I have opportunities that come up for her in larger production type things. Um, you just have to really navigate it and pay attention to what's going on. Um, I would never send her off by herself, and I'll always be on set with her. Probably until she's an adult. But
Which is good.
Go off stage. I probably couldn't do a film without him acting in it because one, I'd be very, very nervous, even though I like talking on stage. And I wouldn't be able to do it, I don't think.
You just feel more like comfortable when dad's on with you.
Yeah.
yeah, at least be on set. We'll see how that goes. But she's got a lot to offer. She naturally, she's very good at memorization, and she understands when I tell her certain things is some direction, and then she knows how to take direction.
I mean, she did an accent better than I've seen in like high production
Yeah.
like movies. So this girl's got skills
Yes. And
and confidence.
yeah. And at school we have to memorize spelling words and some spelling words have like definitions with them, so we have to memorize that. And we have to memorize a Bible verse. So I get that a lot, like the memory of things.
What's your favorite Bible verse that you would share to somebody?
When why do I forget it? When God gave his only son to free us from sin. I forget the verse, but that's like my favorite era of the verses.
What's the meaning behind it?
So when God saw that Adam and Eve had sinned, he knew from the start that we weren't going to be perfect. So he had to have someone of their own kind to go there and show them that this is what you have to do and this is what I'd like you to do because this is what's going to keep you alive and well. So when Jesus came, it made everyone very humbled because before they weren't treating each other and themselves very nice. So he came down and he told them that this is how you got to act to stay well. So he did all the miracles that showed them that I'm like the real deal that you should be worshiping, not these, I don't know, cheese cow statues, stuff like that. And when he went up back to heaven, they still weren't perfect, but they were better than they were.
And that's what we always strive to be, is just better than what we were, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
She pays attention.
She does. She does. That's amazing. All right. Well, How are we feeling? Do you want any more questions? Are you feeling pretty good?
I want a lot
Oh
more
my
questions.
gosh. You're gonna keep me here all night, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's giving you stuff to work with.
Yes, she is. All right. Well, give me a topic. What do you want to talk about? And then dad will tell us yes or no.
Um, let's talk about. Oh, I don't know. You pick.
Ooh, dad picks.
I mean, the things that she's been, doing, the acting stuff has been pretty prevalent in the stuff that she's been wanting to do and talking about acting classes, jujitsu.
Should we talk about acting a little bit more? Do you want to talk about acting a little bit more? Dive into that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. What's your favorite thing about acting?
My favorite thing is that you can show who you are in it, and you can, if you have a good director and a good editor, if you can like daydream it or you can dream it, you can make it, you can do it. So if you wanted to do an action movie, you get a good editor, um, maybe a special effects guy, maybe, well, you need a director, a cameraman, and you can put it all together, film it, but it does take a long time because you have to retake some of the stuff and you have to see what's the best way to do it. So I like that you have time, a lot of it, to do it.
You get a lot more out of acting than I've ever even thought about. Wow.
Well, she got to see, doing the same scene over and over again for a long shot, a medium shot, shot, a close up on you, a close up on him, over and over and
That's a
over,
lot.
over and over again. And then, if she has an opportunity to kind of play in the scene a little bit, and maybe, they got the footage that they wanted, but it's like, hey, let's let you roll with it a little bit. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so I think she likes that, do a little improv.
So it's a little fun to just kind of be in character and play with it, right?
Yeah.
That's super cool. Gosh, I can't get over how much you got out of acting. I've done it a couple times and I'm just like, okay, I'm bored of this.
Yeah.
So, my attention span is not as good.
Yeah, she's watched some behind the scenes stuff, where we watch things on YouTube or something like that, how stuff was made, and I think she's just generally curious because you see the finished product, but not everybody's to see all the work that went into it.
That is a lot. Is there anything else you want to do with like film other than acting? Is there like, do you want to produce? Do you want to write? Is there anything that you're interested in when it comes to that stuff?
Um, I would like to write maybe a short film because I would need to think a lot, but like I said, you do have a lot of time. I would probably want to either like produce um or write.
Producer, right? And if you were to write a script, whether it's for a movie, a short film, a TV series, what would you want to focus on?
I would want to focus on how like what the characters if they're positive or if they're negative or if they're kind or if they're just really shady. Like, how do the characters act in their normal life? And then once you figure that out, then how they act around each other and how they maybe gift things, how they wrap it, something like that.
Something like that. Is there a type of like genre that you would want to focus on, whether it's action, because you like the Marvel movies, or comedies, or what's horror?
Um, so I would do maybe like kids cartoons and it would be maybe like comedy that they can relate to and that they understand what the jokes are. And it would be comedy and maybe very baby horror.
Okay.
So
So slightly scary for little kids, basically.
like thunderstorms
Oh,
that are really bad and there's like a tornado.
okay. She put a lot of thought.
Taking notes. Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. Let's see. Your dad has done a lot of things in the film industry. What is something that you are most proud of your dad for?
Well, most of the movies before like Vegas Traffic, I don't know if I can watch them or not. Um, so I think the one that I'm most proud of, kind of not because he uses a lot of language,
Woohoo.
is Vegas Traffic.
Proud of that one. That one's really good. I haven't seen any other ones either, so I don't know. But he was funny.
Yeah, he was. The only thing that I didn't like was, I think it was funny but very inappropriate, is when the guy was peeing on the wall.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, that one was pretty bad. What about the mama jokes?
What mama jokes?
Or I guess it was like your mom or something, right?
Oh,
Yo mama!
yeah. There was a few your mama jokes.
Yeah. I just remember those. Those made me laugh a little bit because they were like dad jokes, but like mama jokes, you know?
Yeah, yo mama dad jokes.
Yeah.
That's what your mom said.
See?
That type of joke. Speaking of her mom, we can talk a
Oh,
little bit
yeah.
Oh yeah.
co-parenting and then how that
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, let's dive into
Sure,
that.
for sure.
How do you feel about the co-parenting and how going back and forth and all of that is?
I don't really care.
You know? It's pretty breezy.
Yeah, it's just packing all this stuff. I have to bring my laptop, I have to bring my phone, I have to bring my water bottle, I have to bring my backpack, I have to bring all the things.
Like, so how often do you switch? It's weekly,
Every
right?
week.
Every other week. So you have to bring all your school stuff too. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, they're all in my backpack pretty organized, so I can just grab my backpack and go to the house.
But that's the most stressful part is just packing your bag.
Yes.
That's not so bad.
This isn't, but it's like if I'm only going there just for like a event, like if I'm with my mom, but then there's something that I want to go to with my dad, then I go there and then maybe I stay the night and then I bring my laptop. But then I have to bring it back too. But then I couldn't survive the night without my laptop.
Why can't you survive without your laptop?
Once, because it has all my games on there. Two, it has Netflix, Disney, and YouTube. Even though I have a TV and a phone, it's fine. But it has like a lot of my good games on there.
So that's the main reason.
Yeah.
Do you what are like the different activities you do like at your dad's house versus your mom's house? What's the most fun you have at each house?
So at my mom's house, it's one story. So her uncle rents it, so we're living with them. And so I normally make a lot of slime and do a lot of videos. And at my dad's house, I will play with Bane. I will game. I'll sit in my bed, watch YouTube, eat breakfast, waffles in bed. And
So you're a little more spoiled at dad's house is what you're saying.
a little bit. But then also, so my great uncle, he has a 3D printer and he has a lot of other cool stuff. But he will print like these cool dragons that I can play with.
Oh, that's cool. Does do you get to help him make them?
So it's basically the machine, right? So on his phone, he has an app that will like he can go on like the folder and say print, and then it'll start printing. Even though it's on his phone, you can do it at home. So I don't really help him, but I will choose like a type of dragon or the filament that goes in there.
Oh, cool. So these 3D printers, do they make them in different colors? I've seen like people do like just kind of fun little like my sister bought one and I don't even know what she made with it. It was like a little train thing or something. But it was like white. So do you have to like paint them or like do they all come out that way?
So you can paint them. It doesn't really look the best. Like if you have a red 3D printed thing and you want to paint it white, you're gonna have to put like a whole coat of it and then more coats and more coats so you don't see that red. But they come in different colors. So you have to buy the filament that you can go in different colors. So my great uncle, he has some ones that if you look at one way, it looks green, and then the other, it looks blue. So he has a lot of different.
Okay. No, that's super cool. Super cool. I didn't know much about those. I've seen people play with them a little bit. That's about it. I would always think like if I had one, what would I use it for? I have no idea. I couldn't
He
think.
also makes like knives and these like cat things where you put your fingers through them and the ears are like really spiky so you can like stab people with them.
Oh.
And shark knives.
Ooh, so he has the self-defense kit basically.
And he makes phone stands. So when you want to set your phone up, it's like a little thing that'll keep it right here. And then it has where it lays down and you can adjust it to be forward more or back more.
Very cool. Very cool. Does he sell these items too?
I do not think so.
He should.
I mean, I just stopped giving away my dragons because I didn't even want to give away my dragons, but I guess someone wanted to give them away. So now my grandma has one, my cousins have a bunch of them. One time I gave my little cousin a big one, it's like this big, and she lost it, I guess. And she lives in an apartment.
How do you lose a big dragon?
I don't know.
The facial expression you just gave with that was priceless. Okay, so circling back to the co-parenting, you've told me that you have a great relationship with her mom and like how everything moves very smoothly. What do you think the key factor to that is, and like how that helps her?
I mean, if you want to ask me again about being blessed, sometimes these situations don't always work out uh with sunshine and rainbows, you know.
That's life, right?
Yeah, so I'm very, very lucky. She has a great mom. She really embraced it. And I never have to worry about like she's all in, you know. So it's a breeze for me to work with her. You know, I travel for work and she'll come over and take care of my dog while I'm gone. And she just makes it very, very easy and transparent for her to, you know, would see each other when they go to jujitsu and stuff like that, you know. So it's I'm very grateful and I'm very lucky to have um her mom so involved with her and we're on the same page.
You guys are like friends
For
in a
sure.
sense too. Like you're really good friends.
For sure.
That's really cool. And do you feel that? Do you feel that energy from both your parents with
Yeah, because sometimes, sometimes about my cousins, their parents were separated. So they, her parents didn't really have the best time, uh, being on the same page. So one of them couldn't really see her a lot. So she lived with her dad and his girlfriend. So I think they're on the same page, definitely.
you feel lucky, right?
Yeah.
When you see other kids not having as much transparency and
Yes.
happiness. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Um, let's see. What else? Let's talk about your mom a little bit. She's a great person.
Yeah.
Tell me about her.
So you want me to start with her favorite color?
Sure.
So her favorite color is green. Actually, the other day we put some hair chalk in. It might be still in, but I got like purple on this side, pink on this side.
Okay.
And then I got some dark blue on my bangs. But I put some green in her hair and she liked it, but it was only on these little bitty parts, like right here. But I'm gonna lie about the age. I'm gonna say she's 28. 10 years older. And she's really fun and really funny in a really good way because she can make little nicknames for us and they're really cute. And
What's a nickname that she's got for you?
so she'll call me Pickle because I like pickles. And um some and He calls me Doofus sometimes.
Joe Fist.
Okay.
Well, because when she was little, she had these little fat kid little fingers, but she'd make a fist, and I'm like, "What is that?" Just this little white pudgy little thing, and she's like, trying to be. I'm like, "Little dough fist."
You knew she was gonna be tough from the beginning, huh?
Mimi Muck,
Yeah,
Uncle.
yeah.
Oh, her mom's got a
Uncle.
It's
list.
a list of names.
Yeah, she's a comedian. She's fun. Yeah.
And she's really fun because she'll do stuff with me that's enough, and then I'll ask her to do more stuff, and then she's like, no, girl, I gotta work, brother.
What's the funniest thing your mom does?
Makes faces. Like she can.
Oh, that's where you get it, huh?
And she can do it without her fingers.
Well, it's funny because we'll get her on like FaceTime, and she'll be talking to her, and her mom will make these faces, and I try
And
to
I screenshot.
screenshot it, get these blackmail pictures of her mom making these goofy faces, but she's funny.
Oh, that's amazing. Now I need to meet your mom, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to tell her to maybe she should try out jujitsu.
you should. It's really fun. It helps with your breathing, also physical exercises. And if you do it a certain way, it will, like, if you're going too fast in your mind thinking, it'll slow it down, and like your mind will say like, hey, you got to slow down because you're going ahead of yourself. You need to come back a few steps and do this before you go on.
I need that. I do. I'm not gonna lie. I have ADHD and I need that. I need to slow down.
Okay.
So I might have to take a class with you guys.
And you can try it out or you can just watch it.
Okay. Well, we'll have to figure that out. And I'll have to, when I cut these into clips, you'll have to get me her email too, and I can share the folder with her as well.
Oh, for sure.
So that way she has all the videos too. Yeah, because they're gonna be so cute, and you're just telling the world all these things that they should know, but they don't know.
Yeah.
It's fun coming from a child.
And the way she explains it, it's incredible.
I kind of make it up as I go.
That's life, girl.
So I have to like think about it and like, how do I put this?
So take us through that process.
So like right now, I have to think because I have to think of what process. So I ask me a random question,
Let's see.
like a hard one.
Like a hard one, like a deep one.
Yeah.
All right. If you could do anything in the world, what would it be?
See, now that's a deep one. So I have to go through and think about, if I was a doctor, what do I gotta do? Probably wipe old people's butts. And I do not want to do that. If I was a veteran or a veterinarian, I would have to do something with the animals that I do not want to do.
Like poke them in the butt or something?
Yeah. And then I would go through like how I do stuff. So that question, I would probably say like one time or like a job.
Just
Anything?
anything. If you could do anything in the world. So now we're opening it up. It doesn't even have to be a job. If you could do anything.
I would probably be a YouTuber.
A YouTuber, huh?
Or an actress. Anything that's on camera, I'm fine with. Just not theater.
Just not theater?
Mm-mm.
Why don't you like theater?
I don't know. I think when you're wearing all those costumes and, well, you have to wear costumes and acting. But like, let's say you're doing Little Mermaid. You have to wear that giant crab costume. That's crazy. And there's like a littler amount of people watching you. So it's not as big as like acting or being a YouTuber.
Which one do you want to do more?
Acting.
Acting? So for the YouTuber, what would you do for YouTube videos?
I like to vlog a lot on my fake YouTube channel. I want to get my own like private YouTube channel because you can do that so that no one really comments on it. Um and I would normally vlog. Sometimes we play like hide and seek with my friends. Like I'll give them my GoPro. They can film on that and I'll film on my phone or my laptop or something like that. And I like vlogging a lot, like a lot, a lot.
It's just because you like to talk, huh?
Yeah. I also like making slime on my YouTube channel. I like talking. Sometimes I do mini podcasts with my friends. And we pretend, so we have these mugs and we pretend there's coffee in them, but there's actually water.
Oh my God, you're so cute. So if you had a podcast, what kind of podcast would you have? What would you talk about?
We would talk about pretty much anything like they do. Um, and the type of podcast, we would talk about stuff and we would talk about maybe like drama or stuff like that that's really interesting for people so they watch it more so that I can make me my money.
Oh, we know that she wants to make that money, huh? That's how she's thinking about it. Oh, I love it. What do you think about her YouTube channel idea and podcast?
I'm not a huge fan of it. It's I like that she does her pretend ones. And she speaks to it. She does little makeup tutorials and
Yeah, I do.
so she's really good at that, and I think that's fine.
I
I'm
did
very
it when I came here.
Oh, did you?
I'm just very careful about, I'm not very open to putting it out there.
Right.
So I'm still very critical about certain things and watch just like I would, an age appropriate movie,
Yeah.
having my child out there. So it's yeah, I keep an eye on things.
Which you should. That's definitely good parenting. And he's just doing it to protect you, which
Yeah.
you understand, right?
Yes.
And as you get older, things get more and more open, just like the movies get more and more open, right?
Yes. Sometimes my mom lets me, she doesn't let me, but I get a little sneak peek of her little housewife stuff.
Oh, yeah? What do you think of that?
I think it's very drama and I shouldn't be watching it, but I see the appropriate stuff. And I think it's really crazy. Like this one show that was appropriate for me where these two sisters, they had social media and someone had been commenting that they weren't in shape and they were like being what is it called, body shamed, and it was like really 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 crazy.
What is the craziest show you've ever watched?
I don't know.
Was that one it?
Cause I don't watch a lot of my mom's stuff because normally it's boring and I don't need to be watching it. So I don't know.
Oh my God, I love you so much. What about like your shows, out of your shows? What is the most drama-filled show you watch?
Me and my mom like to watch the National Geographic stuff. So mostly the shark ones.
Ooh, okay.
Cause um cause they like talk about how they catch the sharks, how people get bit by the sharks, and that's how I know a lot about sharks, probably more than the boys do.
I bet you know a lot about sharks then if you watch that a lot. So give us a fun fact about sharks.
So let's see. Let's do tiger sharks. So one, um, they have those stripes. That's why they're called tiger sharks. Um, they're like in the I think they're in like the 5 or 7 top most dangerous sharks.
Really? Interesting. You're like a sponge. You just soak all this knowledge in. It's incredible. You know that? What's a fun fact just that you know and you want to share?
Oh, okay. So about chimps, because me and my mom have been watching National Geographic about chimps. So they act a lot like dogs or humans, but even smarter. So if you have a family and you combine them, mostly if there's a girl and then there's a male from different families, they're most likely to like bond and mate, even though they're from different families. And um, brother and sisters can mate, I think, for animals, like
For animals.
any animals.
It's just normal. Yeah.
I think maybe for all of them.
What's the most interesting animal you've learned about on National Geographic?
Probably sharks.
Yeah? You like the sharks the most?
Yeah. They're really cool because they're dangerous, but if you act right around them, they're fine.
Interesting.
Mm.
You know, people think that they're like super dangerous, right? But
Well, they are if you don't act right.
true. But more people die in the United States. I seen this on I used to work and like the TVs would be on and we'd turn that on for fun, right? And so but they would that would be on and I've seen a fact that less people will die of a shark bite than they will by a deer.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy to think about, right? Because we don't think of deer being dangerous at that level.
Because the deer ran out in front of their car, made them swerve and wreck, or because the deer bit them.
Right. That's really why. It's because they ran out in front of your car.
Okay, I'm like,
But yeah, no, but it's because of the car accidents due to it. But it is funny because when you think of a deer, you don't think danger, right?
Yeah.
You just think it's a deer.
well, until you're driving in those dark, highways and you see their eyes glowing. Yeah.
Then it's a little
creepy.
Yeah.
it's a little scary. I grew up in the Midwest and like that was very common.
Is he gonna run or not?
And they're big.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
big deer. So yeah, very interesting. It's fun though.
Yeah.
I love animal facts.
Same. Animals are like my specialty. And slime.
Do you have pets?
I have a dog.
Tell me about your dog.
His name is Bane. Is it from Batman?
Technically, no. It's the same
Star-
name from Batman, but it's actually he was named from a Star Wars character named Bane.
Okay.
So, and he is 2 years old. He just turned 2 not too long ago in May. Right? Or April.
April, I think.
April. And so his birthday is April 15th. And
Tax day.
yeah. Isn't it the same day your dad died?
Oh, okay.
So that was a very, I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't want to say weird. Strange coincidence. Cause I mean, the previous owner was his friend. So we never knew that. And so he used to have this donut that you chew. Now he's too big. He'll just rip it apart if you get him any stuffies. He has to have like a bone or like
One of those like Kong toys.
yeah. And so he used to have one of these donuts that would squeak, and me and my friend we were on the couch watching him like have the zoomies literally sprinting through the house. And there's a very small walkway that when he comes inside from his doggy door, he'll just like sprint. And if you stand in front of that doggy door, I guarantee your knees will get damaged.
Oh my goodness.
But he knows, like, he'll see my legs when I open up his door and he wants to come back in. Once I walk to the side, he'll slowly come out. But about the donut thing, he was zooming And my mom was trying to get him to calm down because my friend was scared because she's like little. And she my mom like scared him. So he left a little dirt on the carpet.
So he pooped himself and not scared him.
And me and my friend went over there and we were dying laughing on the couches.
Isn't it fun when dogs get zoomies?
Yes, but it can be dangerous. Depends on what dog you have.
Very true. Mine gets zoomies out front sometimes. So like she'll see the neighbors and then she just goes like in this weird circle. And we call her wrecking ball because she's like sturdy and like if she gets the zoomies and you're in the way, there it comes.
Half of the trucks.
And so my teacher, she has 2 dogs. They are, I forget the breed, but I know the breed. And they have a lot of kids in their neighborhood. So this teenage boy was on his electric scooter in the street and she lets her dogs outside. And one of her dogs, I think it was Archie, he started like running across like with the kid. And it was just because he was trying to play, but the kid thought he was trying to like eat him. So he like ran his scooter into the garage, shut the garage, and my teacher like went over and was trying to like apologize to the boy.
My dog scared a few people a few times too. I get it. I get it. It's funny because like she's like the nicest dog in the world, but like she'll run up. There's a little kid across the street, and she runs up and gives him a kiss and then runs away, and like scares the crap out of him.
Doesn't knock him down though.
No. She just gives him a little lick and then just runs away. And I do blame my neighbor. She's like always like in her face, like give me kisses. So that's like her new thing.
Right.
Same with ours, like, but with him, he'll say like, "Give me a hug," and then he'll jump up on him, and then they'll just have a little hug moment, and then he thinks he can do that to my little cousin or my nephew.
Oh.
When he jumps up, he's taller than him. So he's very calm around them, but they're just too scared of him. And I'm like, listen, you're 5 years old. He's a 2-year-old puppy. You gotta understand it, even though you're 5 years old.
Do they not have pets?
No.
No.
They've probably never seen a pet in their life.
Except for yours?
Nope. Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense.
What else you got?
Yeah, what else you got?
I don't know.
We've been going for a hot minute. You want to see how long?
Yeah.
Oof. Almost 2 hours. I think it's time to call it. What do you think?
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have more time because the next Eurostar event, I'm going to come and interview again.
Okay.
So whether Trenton wants me there or not. Only this time I have microphones with like the little mini ones that I can put in there. So just kind of like this, but like just what is it, wireless, I guess. So I'm gonna bring those so we can actually hear the kids' interviews.
Is it like a lavalier or something?
It's just like over, you see it right there. It's just like a stick, and then you put the like mini mics in it.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
Cool.
yeah. So I figured that would be fun. Just then you can hear their interviews.
For sure.
Only we can't talk about boys then. All right. Do you want to give any other advice to anyone?
Yeah. Make sure that in life, whether or not you're 5 years old or you're about to die, you you don't like lie to yourself. Like if someone says you don't look good, well, take that as a challenge to keep yourself up.
That's really good advice. Really good advice. And then what is something that you want to tell your dad since Father's Day's on Sunday?
That I love you 3000 and that you're the best dad that I could ever have.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. So a little anecdote. She said, "I love you 3000." In the Avengers movies, Iron Man has a moment with his young daughter, and he says, "I love you." She says, "I love you 3000," which means infinity or whatever. It was a big,
Oh
no,
my,
it was a big
yeah.
number yeah. And so that's a very heartwarming moment in the movie that they share. And so her and I always say, "I love you 3000." And
And when I
sometimes,
go to school, we go like this at the door.
Oh,
so sometimes if we can't vocalize it and we see each other, we'll just do this. And that means 3000. I love you
that's super
3000.
cute. I love that. What about you? You got any last words you want to add to after she gave you that heartwarming
I mean, that's my reason. That's my why. You know,
in everything in life?
and I was lucky enough to be able to do it twice. Um, Great kids. Uh, I mean, I think that's what it's all about. I know people have taken different paths and they have their own happiness. Um, this is mine.
You've raised an incredible kid. You're a really cool kid.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for all the stuff that you have shared today, and I always have fun interviewing you. It's so fun, and I appreciate you bringing her and letting her voice herself.
For sure.
So, all right, you want to say bye? All right,
Bye.
bye.